These are old developments that were isolated by hundreds of years, but this equivalent pictogram was found in all of them. It's the most seasoned and the best. The inestimable inquiry of all is, are we alone in the universe? Given the way that there are innumerable outsider worlds with conditions like Earth, nearly no one believes life on our planet is one of a kind. In excess of 300 million worlds with comparable circumstances to Earth are dissipated all through the Milky Way, so maybe a much better inquiry is, are we alone in the world? Given the way that we've proactively identified 4,000 exoplanets circling different stars, we have an estimation of the Milky Way universe. Interestingly, we know that, on average, every single star has a planet circumventing it, and around 1/5 or thereabouts of them have Earth-sized planets going around them. So, figure it out, we're discussing, out of 100 billion stars in the Milky Way universe, billions of potential Earth-sized planets. To accept that we're the only ones is, I think, rather absurd given the chances and the number of worlds that are there. Inside sight of the Hubble Space Telescope, there are about 100 billion cosmic systems. So figure it out, how many stars are there in the noticeable universe? 100 billion cosmic systems times 100 billion stars for every system, we're discussing a number beyond human imagination. To accept that we're the only ones, I believe, is fairly crazy. For more than 60 years, all we've had to address this inquiry was the Drake equation, which proposed there were likely between 1,000 and 100 million planets with developments in the Milky Way. At this point, researchers at the University of Nottingham think they've concocted another astronomical advancement-based estimation that proposes there are at least 36 continuous clever civilizations in our Milky Way. Intelligent outsider developments are ranked using the Kardashev scale, which is a method of estimating a civilization's degree of innovative headway based on how much energy it utilizes. Most importantly, we need to grasp the degree of complexity of an outsider living thing in the event that we connect with them. I think in this century we'll most likely get signals from an extraterrestrial progress, disordinary everyday transmissions that they radiate. The primary thing we believe we should do is, A. Translate their language, and B. Sort out at what level they are advanced on the Kardashev scale. I'm a physicist, we rank things by two boundaries, energy and data. That is how we rank black holes, that is how we rank stars, that is how we rank civilizations in space. So, a Type 1 civilization is capable of outfitting planetary power, they control the climate, for example, earthquakes and volcanoes. They can change the melody of topographical occasions. Type 2 would be stellar, they play with stars, utilizing the whole energy output of a star, sort of like Star Trek, where a civilization of planets has colonized the nearby stars. A Type 2 would be fairly like Star Trek. Type 3 would be cosmic, they meander the cosmic space paths. Type 3 would be like Star Wars, a cosmic civilization. Late English hypothetical physicist Stephen Hawking cautioned us to quit contacting outsiders before it's past the point of no return, as they would not end up being the cordial kind we expect. Hawking said, "As I become older, I am more persuaded than at any other time that we are not alone. One day, we may get a sign from a planet like Kepler 832c, but we should be careful about replying back in the event that we are, in fact, not the only ones in the world and an outsider civilization has sick goals towards us. It's already past the point of no return as we've previously been broadcasting our area to the universe for years. I mean, it's really clear to me that we are probably not the only ones. We tend to believe that we are unique, but that is an indication of youthfulness. We have our technology only for 100 years, and it's developing dramatically right now on a 3-year time scale. So, imagine what might occur in 100 years, in 1,000 years, in 10,000 years, or in 1,000,000,000 years. Now, the Sun is quite late in the star arrangement history of the universe. The vast majority of the sunlight stars formed before, and some of them have already died, became white dwarfs. If you imagine that a civilization like our own existed around a normal sun-like star, and if they survived, they could be 1,000,000,000 years old. And then imagine a very advanced civilization, it would seem to be magic to us. A guess to God, we wouldn't be able to comprehend it. In my view, we ought to be modest, and by the way, we should probably listen and not talk. There is a risk if you are inferior, there is a risk if you talk too loudly, something bad may happen to you. Given the way that we are currently in obscurity with no proof and can only gauge the quantity of outsider civilizations in our world from as low as a handful to as many as 100 million planets with civilizations in the Milky Way, there is also a disagreeable but conceivable response. Nearly no one believes we are alone in the universe, but when it comes to a mechanical civilization in our world, perhaps we are it. I don't necessarily feel that we're the only ones in the noticeable universe, which goes out, approximately 14 billion years in light travel time and more like, 46 billion years when you consider the extension of space. So, the measurement of our detectable universe is something like 90 to 92 billion light years, which encompasses 100 billion to a trillion systems with, 100 billion stars each. So now you're looking at something like 10 to the 22nd or 10 to the 23rd power stars, and approximately an equivalent number of Earth-like planets, etc. So, there likely could be other clever life, but we likely could be the only ones in our Milky Way universe. Probably a small bunch, I'd say, but I'd likely side with the way of thinking that suggests we're the only ones in our own cosmic system for no obvious reason. I don't view human intelligence as a normal transformative way. I mean, there are various contentions. Most importantly, there have been in excess of 10 billion types of life on Earth, and nothing has moved toward our degree of insight and mechanical capacity. And interest, whales and dolphins give off an impression of being sensibly wise, yet there's no proof that they would be able to think theoretical contemplations, that they're interested about the world. They certainly can't fabricate machines with which to concentrate on the world, so that is one contention. Also, we came to fruition as early primates just 4 or so million years ago, and as Homo sapiens for only about a fourth of quite a while back. So, for the majority of the historical backdrop of life on Earth, an outsider civilization passing by Earth would have said there's nothing especially savvy or exceptionally capable. Thirdly, obviously, our intelligence is a drawn-out transformative benefit. Now, obviously, over the most recent 100 years or 200 years, we've improved the existences of millions, countless individuals, but at the risk of possibly annihilating ourselves. Lately, a few stargazers have attempted to put more observational accentuation behind the quantity of outsider developments in our universe. They have zeroed in on two great obscurities: the chances of life emerging on Earth-like planets from abiotic conditions, an interaction called abiogenesis, and from that point, the chances of intelligence arising. Even with such gauges close by, stargazers still differ about what they mean for life somewhere else in the universe with regards to the inquiry: are there different developments in the Milky Way? Established researchers are divided. As one has pointed out, the sheer number of Earth-like planets, so we couldn't really be separated from everyone else, while the other half requests hard proof. Later all, assuming that our cosmic system was abounding with life, where are every one of the outsiders? The Fermi paradox, assuming they're normal, where on Earth are they? Study has been the quest for extraterrestrial intelligence. It has been checking the skies, and valid, we've just searched a couple of 100 light years out, and that is a small part of the entire universe, a small part of these 100 billion or more stars. By and by, assuming the universe were overflowing with life, particularly clever life, you'd expect some of it to have been definitely further developed than our own. The compound evolution of our universe was to such an extent that billions of years prior, atomic processing in stars had created billows of gas after their blast that were sufficiently rich and heavy in components to have framed Earth-like planets. There could be civilizations that are billions of years in front of our own. Assuming you take a gander at the dramatic development of innovation among Homo sapiens in the last couple of 100 years and you simply project that forward, who knows what they could have accomplished even in 1,000 or 10,000 years. Not to mention 1 million or 10 million or a billion years. And assuming they reach this ability of interstellar travel and colonization, then you can show that within 10 million years, there's surely 100 million years, you can populate the entire system. So then, at that point, You don't have to have attempted to identify them past 100 or 1,000 light years, they would currently be here. Gratitude for watching. Did you like this video? Then show your support by subscribing, ringing the bell, and enabling notifications.